Hey everybody, Adam with High Desert Hollow here. Keep getting these late afternoon thunderstorms, and this isn't normal for this time of year for us to have this much rain and precipitation like we're getting. Not complaining, I love it, so just keep it coming. It's just I was trying to figure out something I could film and put on YouTube, and everything I want to do is outside. So what I was thinking though is I still need to build some tomato cages to go around our tomatoes for our annual garden. Some people don't use cages, some people use a trellis system. I like the cages because they're easy. I can store them from year to year. I just take them off, put them in a pile behind the shop, and they're ready for me the next year. But we planted more tomatoes than we have in the past because this is the first time we've had this bigger garden, so I need to build some more. And what you can use, I like to use just a wire fence, like a field fence. I'm fortunate enough that when we bought this property, they had a whole bunch of it already here from a fence that you'd taken down years ago. And so I'm just using that. At our old house, what I did is I actually was driving past a farm and saw an old farmer had a whole pile of it out there next to his barn. I asked him if you'd sell me a roll, he just gave it to me. So that's something you could do if you're driving and you see a pile of it. Or you can go down to any Home Depot, Lowe's, Cal Ranch, any farm implement store, and get a roll of this fence. It gets kind of expensive to do it that way, and we're trying to, with all the projects we have to do, if we can do it for a little bit cheaper, we try to. So, what we're going to do, also, I almost forgot to tell you, after I get them built, I'll show you another trick I've got that we do here to help protect the tomatoes and help them grow in this early part of the season for us. Because in Idaho, it still gets really close to freezing sometimes at night. It gets up into the 70s and 80s during the day, but we'll get right down next to freezing. So I got a trick that I do that's easy and fast that'll help protect these tomatoes, kind of like a wall of water, but without the wall of water. So stay with me. We're going to go through, we're going to build some cages, and then I'll show you that trick and we'll kind of go from there. Okay. So what I've got here is I've got a piece of fence that I've already kind of measured and cut off to kind of get the idea how big around I want them to be. So what I'll do is I'll take this roll of fence, and you can see it's been sitting there. It's got plant life and wild cucumbers growing in it, which is kind of the bane of my existence here on this place. I've got them everywhere. And any of you guys have ever dealt with them, they're not good for anything, in my opinion. And you can't hardly kill them. They're a tuber that grows underground that puts out a vine that climbs up everything. It'll climb through the top of your house, top of a tree. It'll actually kill trees if you let it go too long and it goes to the top of it. And it'll actually choke out trees or bushes and stuff. It's bad news. So I'm always pulling it up everywhere I go. And I mean, you dig it up, that helps. But even if you leave just a little bit of that root underground, it'll grow again. So it's something I'll probably fight forever. I'm not planning on ever getting rid of it completely, I guess. Because I don't like to use pesticides, and I don't think they actually work that well on the wild cucumber anyway. So anyway, sorry, I got distracted. Got field fence, I kind of got it measured out. Using my fancy fencing pliers like I showed you guys in the bean trellis video. They've got a great wire cutter on them. I don't have to put hardly any effort into it. If you don't have a set and you're doing that wire work, I recommend getting it because it's really good. This one's just a little bit bigger than I want it to be, so I'm actually going to cut this one back by about 2. So we're going to go down. Okay, so I got it marked, so I'll get that piece of wire out of the road. We're just going to have to go down and cut each individual one and cut it completely off. Okay, so I've got that one cut off. We're going to make that into a tomato cage. It's kind of bent up a little bit, which is okay. I'm not concerned about it. We'll straighten out the ones, the real bad bends, but for the most part, we're just going to leave it the way it is. Okay, so when I cut that off, I've got too many here. Got my other piece. Okay, get that out of the road. So when you cut that off, you leave the long tail end on. So the next one's got the short end, but we got the long tails coming out on this end. So what we do, We just bring that around. You take that long tail, it goes around that last piece of wire right there. You just kind of pull it through. If you're doing work with this old rusty wire too, you want to make sure I like to have on a pair of gloves, just so you don't get poked, cut, scratched. You don't want to have to go get that tetanus shot. They're never any fun. Okay. And you just go back to the other end. This one's kind of got a piece missing, but we'll work with it. So, just want to wrap that around like that. Okay, now we just work all the way up. I'll take and wrap that around, come back around, twist it. Go to the next one. And all I'm doing is just making that continuous circle out of it, just to make that cage. Alright everybody, there we go. I've got all the wire tabs wrapped around, wired up, cage pretty much straightened out to make it look pretty much like a cage. Now, all I'm going to do is build 8 more. We got quite a few more tomatoes, I guess, than I used to have. And I used to gardening in a little 12 by 30-foot garden, and now my garden's considerably larger. So here the rain's picking up even more now. So I'm going to go just to finish in building the rest of these, and I'll show you that trick I was telling you about at the beginning, so we can go from there. So, hey everybody, we've got the cages all built. Wire is all straightened out and wrapped up into a cage. That's what we basically got. That's what it looks like when we're all done. And I don't know if anybody has ever used the tomato cages you buy at the store, but this is a lot more solid when it's said and done. So, got Gabe out here. He's going to help me with this next step I was telling you guys about. And I don't know if you've noticed or not, but it quit raining for a little bit. So it's a little bit more quiet, and then as soon as I get these tomato cages finished getting them wrapped up, we'll get them put in. So, part I was going to tell you about, and I don't know if anybody recognizes this, but it's a roll of shrink wrap. And what they use it for is to wrap pallets and anything you're going to ship in these big trucks to help hold boxes together and keep it protected. And you can find it pretty much, you can find it online. I found it on Amazon. I actually bought this roll at Lowe's. And any place you look, they're about 20 bucks a roll. Unless you buy 4 or 5 at a time, you get them for about 15 bucks. But I can tell you that my last roll, this is a brand new roll, but my last roll lasted me 5-6 years. Lasts a long time because you're not using a lot of it. But basically what it is just an industrial strength shrink wrap, and it's 18 inches wide. And what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this cage. And what that'll do is to help protect the tomatoes against wind. It'll help hold that solar energy in around the tomato to keep it warm and help it just grow, because those tomatoes like it when it's warm. And like I say, here in Idaho, it gets kind of cold still at night. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hand this to Gabe, and Gabe's going to put it up over the top. He's kind of going to hold it for me. And what we do is I get off a piece of the shrink wrap, make a tag in, something for Gabe to hold on to right here. He holds on to that, and he comes right over here so I don't run into that post. You got it?
Yeah.
Now I'm just going to go around. I'll start at the bottom. We just keep going around and around. And once it goes over the top of itself, it actually locks again, it sticks against itself. So I'm just going to work all the way up to the other end of this cage, which is actually the bottom of the cage. And we'll come around it this last time. When we get to the end, all I got to do is poke a hole in it, kind of tear it, and it comes right off. And all I got to do is just kind of push it against itself, and it'll lock it in. So that's pretty much a completed tomato cage, ready to go on the plant. We still get all the solar energy to go into the tomato. Helps keep it warm, keeps it protected from the wind. And I'm going to leave this saran wrap on for probably 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the weather and how the tomatoes grow. Once the tomatoes start filling this cage up and it's like holding them back, I'll take my pocket knife and just cut it right down the side, pull it off, and the tomato will actually grow out from there. So just kind of a neat idea, something we've done for a long time. It's fast and easy, and it works really, really good. Okay, everybody. As you can see behind me, we've got all the tomato cages finished and wrapped and installed in the garden. Now all we got to do is we're going to give it some time, let those tomatoes grow up, and as I said earlier, once they start filling out those cages, we're going to end up cutting that plastic wrap off, and that way we can reach in there to prune off any suckers and pick the tomatoes as they ripen up. So if you like what we got going here, subscribe to the channel. That way you get notifications of new videos as I put them up. Also, give me a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it if you would. It helps me out. So, and if you want to see something different with the channel, let me know in the comments. If it's something I feel that we can do or the family can handle here at High Desert Hollow, we'll end up trying to do it and put a video out on it if you're interested in it. So, in the meantime, we're just trying to live a more self-reliant lifestyle and promote modern homesteading. Adam with High Desert Hollow, signing out. We just keep going all the way up here.
It's going?
It's going.
Okay.
Ready? Take what? Take 46? No, not that high. Take 5 maybe?
Yeah, take 5 or take 3.
Take 3 or take 5 is a good candy bar.
What?
Take 5 is a good candy bar.
Yeah.
Alright, so, okay.